it's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we are serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please, by all means, hit that subscribe button. We are so close, so close to 5,000. In fact, let me just do a quick search to see where we are. We are at 4,000. What? Wait.
Did we go down? I said, did we go down?
No, I think we're at 4,920. 4,920, which means we are only 80 people away from 4,920. So we are only 80 people away. 80 people away. 11 years of hard hitting. Well, okay, granted, it hasn't been 11 years. It's been 11 years since this show was established, but it's only been 6 years since we've done it on our own. But 6 years, people, we should have reached y'all by now. So find a friend and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, while you're there, go ahead and become a part of our exclusive members only page. Hit the join button and join us on our virtual events that we have bi-monthly, or you can actually come on live when we have guests and ask a question live to that guest. Now, listen, a lot of our members don't take full advantage of the member stuff, but if you become a member, you can. So join today. Also, if you can't watch us and you rather listen to us, make sure you find us on your favorite podcast station. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just search Dishin Days and take us along with you while you are enjoying some summertime fun. Whether you're planting a garden, dipping your toes in the sand, or getting that summer body ready for a hot girl summer, you can listen to What's Happening in Salem, brought to you by the fine folks here at Dishin Days. You better have your hot girl summer moment, Araceli.
I'm getting into it. You know why? Because I slept.
She slept and has a bottle of wine next to her. She's in good spirits.
I do not, actually. I've been good. Got lots of water and maybe my favorite soda.
After the bottle of wine. Also, make sure you guys go show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who is giving you a full rundown of all of the other soaps. That's right. If you want a recap of Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, General Hospital, was that it?
Beyond the Gates.
And Beyond the Gates. There we go. Make sure you check out JLJ Media on YouTube. You can also check out some original audio dramas written, produced, starring, and created by Mr. James Lott Jr. So go visit the head BIC of all things digital over at JLJ Media, where all JLJ Media can be found. And all throughout the show, y'all, we want to hear from you. So make sure you comment in our chat, or if you're watching this later, comment below. We see the comments. We may like it. We may not always reply, but we want to know your thoughts on this week's episodes of Peacock's Days of Our Lives. Before we get into it, we always ask the question, what did you think of this week's episodes of Days?
I thought it was a good week. It was another week of like everyone in the cast was on. So like the pacing has actually gotten really better to be able to fit everyone in the cast on and to keep it going. So yeah, it was one of those where doing the outline, it was like, oh shit, I gotta add this person, that storyline. These two people had something going on. So yeah.
Yeah. And they're not saying nothing. Like it's not filler. Like if you're there for a purpose, and like let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a pretty good week.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, like, nothing groundbreaking. Again, it's like sprinkling seeds. And then we'll see those seeds grow over the week, or unless we'll just be hit with a hard hammer. And all of a sudden it's like, boom.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. I wish I would have downloaded this TikTok. I randomly came across a TikTok that was so funny. This guy recorded his mom giving him a recap of Days of Our Lives, and it was
really?
hilarious. She was like, so Lexi comes out of the, and I mean, it was like like she was fully into it, and I loved it. And I love that the official TikTok Days gave her a shout out, and Carson Boatman also replied. So it's good to know that out there in the universe, it's not just us that's watching Days.
Yeah.
People are too, and are informing people who are not up to date with the shenanigans. So, yeah. Before we dive into it more, Michael Mattis is on vacation. So shout out to Michael Mattis. Let's see. Tattooed Yarn keeps asking if anyone watches The Bay. Yes. In fact, I was on The Bay for an episode or two.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's wait no further, everyone. Let's get into this week. It is now time to start Dishin Days. Okay, that was pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with our top storylines of this week. The top storylines, the ones that they focused on the most this week. And we're going to start with the first one, which is territorial. We are dealing with Lexi, Abe, Theo, EJ, Rolf, Marlena, and Paulina.
Well, who could have predicted that EJ messing with things that he shouldn't be messing with would backfire?
Yeah.
What a concept.
Classic, yeah. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Kind of.
It's almost like man is not supposed to be messing in godly things.
Well, when in Salem, everybody wants to be the master of none, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just riddle me this. If your wife, mother, came back from the dead after being gone for 15 years, would it be business as usual? Or would there be other arrangements? Because for some reason, I was like, as much as I like seeing Lexi, Abe, and Theo, I also was like, I feel like it's a little rushed.
Oh, totally.
The thing is that they have two very different ideas of what is business as usual. Because Lexi's business as usual done left the building 15 years ago.
Right.
And she's trying to like squeeze her normal into today's normal, and that's just not gonna happen.
And
like
I feel
saying that like they Carver and Jules were Abe's and were not Abe's and Paulina's grandchildren, they were just Paulina's, is like, I was like, oh no.
Right. But I like Abe was just like, Lexi.
Yeah.
Lonnie is my daughter and those are my grandkids.
Yeah.
You know? But also I feel like they're just kind of going along with, which I feel like that kind of bothers a little bit. And then the kiss.
It's all awkward. It's just,
it looked like two middle schoolers kissing for the first time. It wasn't like again, it too soon. It felt too soon. And listen, this is nothing against James Reynolds and Nikki Crawford, who are portraying Abe and Lexi. It's just that as Abe and Lexi, it feels like there should have been a little more thought into this storyline.
Yeah, they're definitely like rushing through the storyline. I mean, realistically, Lexi would have went back to the Demira mansion to recuperate, and then it would have been like, figure your stuff. They would have given us time for Abe to like really do some soul searching and figuring out what he wanted to do, irregardless of what Paulina wanted to do or moved out. Like that shouldn't automatically mean like a win, for Lexi, kind of a thing. Yeah, I think from Lexi's standpoint, she's like, okay, I just want to resume my life. I'm glad they finally addressed like that. It's not really her home either, because like that was bugging me last week. Like, it's Paulina and Abe's home that she's moving into. Like, established they got rid of like the house that they lived in years ago, so it's like not even around. She's not walking into an environment where she's, filled with all the comforts of what she left 15 years ago. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. And I kind of wanted them to stay there for a minute there and like keep pushing that point, but they just, I don't know, I feel like Abe and Theo are just like, they're like acquiescing to whatever she wants just because they're happy she's back, and it's like, you don't want to upset her or like acknowledge that things are weird, even though once they're out of her sight, they're acknowledging it to everyone else. But yeah, it does feel a bit rushed. I do like the characterization of Lexi, though. I know some people are having problems with it. They think she's too mean or she's not this or that, but I actually like it. I like her leaning into the more Demira side a little bit. I like her being a little bit more snarky. I don't necessarily like the grandchildren like line. I thought that was a little too much. I didn't like that part of it, or even when, we'll get into it soon, when she was with Paulina. I mean, not Paulina. When she was with Marlena having breakfast, and she said something about like, I requested Abe not to contact them or something, or to give us some space. I was like, oh girl, like, calm down a bit. But other than that, I think the storyline is rushed, but I do like the characterization of Lexi coming out of a coma 16 years later.
I'm going to say this, but I, again, am going to preface this with, I have no issues with Nikki Crawford, who plays Lexi. I think she has come on board and she's doing a fantastic job portraying Lexi with the material that she's given. And this is not on her. But however, I feel like this storyline would have had a bigger impact if, when they decided to do this, they 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, signed, sealed, delivered, had Renee Jones locked in to do this. And I think that's what's so jarring about the whole storyline, is that I think about how, okay, this is great that I don't know if it's great, but like, they suddenly decided to bring Lexi back after being dead for 15 years, right? And I'm like, that idea is great. And I think there's some stuff maybe down the pipeline that we're going to go, oh, wow. I just feel like to really have the impact that they wanted to have with this storyline, it had to have been done with Renee Jones. Yeah. And I know there's no way, because I feel like, we've heard it for years that she is like, nope, I am done. I am out of the limelight. I just picture her in a big straw hat planting tomatoes and like going to like the pavilions and buying her accoutrements in a very like Dominique Devereaux kind of a way, but like with a down to earth feel. But I just feel like if if that pod had pulled back and we saw Renee Jones, we all would have flipped our shit.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. It's just it's the execution that was the problem. And again, nothing to do with Nikki Crockford. It was the powers that be. You know, there are things that you can try. There are, not that you shouldn't reach for the moon when you're thinking of storylines, but if you're going to reach for it, grab onto it and believe that you can actually deliver on it. And if you can't deliver on it, you got to pivot.
Yeah.
I also think I will say, like, I think some of the greatest scenes we've seen with Nikki have been the little, like, I feel like everyone universally loved the Lexi EJ stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I wish they leaned in more of that. Like, I wish we saw her with Tony so far, and maybe we're gonna get it. You know, I want to see the Kristen stuff because they have so much history, and they didn't leave each other on good terms the last time they saw each other. So I'm looking forward to, like, them meeting up and talking with their history. But I wish they leaned into that more, because even we said it here, like, that scene really popped, and it's the two actors who are both recast got the essence of that scene and got the history of that brother-sister relationship, and they nailed it. So I wish as we're seeing, like, we're getting more like Lexi Demira than Lexi Carver. So I wish she'd be incorporated more with the Demiras here a bit.
But I also think we're seeing fight or flight in the character of Lexi. Like, I'm fighting for what I know, you know, and I want to keep that. And I'm not going to accept the fact that you moved on.
Yeah.
I want what I want when I fell asleep 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I just and I feel bad for saying what I said, because I feel like people may take it as a dig against Nikki, and like, no, like we had her on the show. She's a very lovely woman, an amazing actress, and she's doing a great job. I just think that from a soap standpoint, like, if you were going to do this, having Renee Jones be a part of it would have been like, give them all the Emmys.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we would have been so invested, but but as fans, you want us to be invested in the storyline when there's a lot happening within us. We have to get used to Nikki as Lexi, and we have to then, like, be invested in, like, everything that's happening, and it has to make sense to us. And I feel like right now it's just it's jarring, because, like, we're trying to get used to the fact that you brought back a character who died 15 years ago with a new actress with these relationships. It's like, all of a sudden it's like we're having to, it's like taking this and I think they wanted it to go just like this, but we're like, you know. So yeah, exactly, Shonda, trying to be a fan with open arms.
And look, this was very much a misstep, I think, from a creative standpoint. Nothing to do with the casting or the direction, the acting direction that Nikki has done. She has risen to the occasion beautifully, but this is one of those things that it just either works or it doesn't. And you know, we who know the history, who can feel we could read the room, it's not working.
Because I think also, because right now we're like, picture it, Renee Jones, Lexi. When Paulina decided to move out, would we have been like, girl, stay at your house? Or we would have been like, yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Lexi back. You know what I mean? Like, because I think, like, that chemistry and everything that, like, James Reynolds and Renee Jones had for us fans would have been there, to where we would have been like, you know, where now we're just kind of like, oh, Paulina girl.
Yeah. Trying to build upon that anew is already a gargantuan task to ask of an actor. and to put that added pressure of the timing is off, the writing is rushed, it's clunky, it's not working. It's not on the actor. They're rising to the occasion. I think this was just a misstep. And mind you, this is not the first time it has happened on Days. It's not the first time it's happened in soaps. There have been other actors who have come to Days and just immediately found their niche in their role, whereas when they were on another soap, it was just dreadful. Top of mind would be Jen Lilly, when she had to step in for Kirsten Storms on General Hospital. She was destroyed when she was on that show, for God knows what reason in my mind, because that had nothing to do with her or her acting, but it was just not a good situation. It was not a good fit, her in the role. She comes to Days as Teresa. Immediately she made that role her own, and mind you, of a character we had not seen since she was a child.
Yeah.
So she got the chance to create that role from the ground up, and it worked immediately.
Yeah. But I think overall the storyline could be interesting, because now we're wondering, like, what else is Dr. Ralph and EJ working on? Kind of nervous that all of a sudden the rat died. And then we ended Friday with Lexi being like, and I'm like, oh shit! It's like a glitch in the Matrix that's starting to happen. So, it definitely opens the door for like an interesting storyline. But I think it's one of those things where it's like, all right, let's get to it. Like, let's keep us engaged, because, like, I don't know. Like if there's other people in pods, like I need very soon for Rolf and EJ to walk into a room and there's like however many of those pods being lit up, and all of a sudden it's like, and it's like a reveal of everybody who's back there. And then shortly after, I need everybody to wake up. It should, like, that episode should feel like Thriller Part 2. All of a sudden they're just like,
not Thriller Part
2.
They did that already. It was a Halloween episode a few years back.
Oh, did they?
Well, not the dancing part, but yes, yeah. Everybody rising out of the graves. Yes, they did that.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I agree with you. I feel like they're rushing to tell a particular type of story. And I think it's a different story than what the fans had in mind for Lexi's return. So I'm hoping they nail it. I've said before, I think this is like the feather in their cap in terms of the writing, the new writing regime, which we'll talk about later too. But if they nail this part, and so far I think, I don't know, like I said, I like the characterization. I think they're rushing this again to tell a different story, and we'll see what that is in the next few weeks. But I don't know if that's the story we were hoping it would be or thinking it would be. But we'll see how they land it. Who knows? I mean,
yeah. I guess. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I didn't like that Abe has been suddenly removed from like Paulina and Chanel, and not only is this whole big thing is happening, but then you got Chanel that's dealing with this thing, and Abe is not there, like knowing the stuff. It's almost like Lexi came back and he was like, hang on a second, guys, let me go over here, and it's like you can't just remove yourself from your life.
It's like, let's feel that awkwardness. Let's see, like, Abe go to Chanel and talk to her, and maybe it's a little awkward, but it's fine. Like, we're missing those beats, I think.
Yeah. All right. Oh, and I love the fact that Lexi was like, I wouldn't have been mad that you were the CEO of Demera. You are a Black autistic man who's like running a CEO. That's inspirational. And I was just like, Theo, if you don't go get your job back, honey.
Have we not been saying that since day one? Like Lexi would appreciate the fact that Theo, a good person, is making the company good and making it a strong company. And from all accounts, we saw that he was 100% doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't make it. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense why she would have a problem with that. Now, if Stefano were still alive, or Andre were alive, or if EJ were his bosses and they were trying to control him, yeah, she may have a problem with that. But
precisely
those people removed from it, she has no problem with Theo doing a great job bringing Demira, or making Demira a brand new legitimate company. She would have no problem with that.
Yeah, that's precisely what Tony was after. He was adamant that this be about the next generation. He sees the writing on the wall. Like, even if EJ wants to have, unlimited power at Demira, as he always does, that he knows that, people usually, when they die, and they usually do stay dead, you have to look to the future. You have to look to the next generation. And so he's looking ahead. He's doing the responsible thing. It's just Abe that has a problem with it. Abe is just, I don't want you to be one of those Demiras. Well, look, he's a Demira by blood. You can't wash his blood away. Okay. It's there. It's in him. Now you have to trust that he's going to be smart enough, and he's going to have enough integrity to be able to handle this.
Yeah. Same way Lexi handled it.
Yeah.
Put on your red and slip on your high heels and some of that sweet perfume. All right, let's move on to our next top storyline, shall we? Chanel takes the stand. Sorry.
God.
So I was reminded, remember last week when I gave a rundown of all things that Chanel had been through? I forgot about the radiation.
Yeah.
How did you forget? We ranted and raved about how just frustrated we were at that storyline.
I forgot, because then it also reminded me of Paulina chunking through the blizzard.
In that radiation, the hazmat suit.
Yes. I always like when a show will give you a POV into something that you didn't even realize you were getting a POV of. And that's how people of color, specifically Black women in this case, get treated medically. And I love the fact that Chanel stood her ground against a doctor who literally walked in and was just kind of like, this is routine, rather than really talking to the patient, getting to know the patient, giving them all the different possibilities, answering questions, because your job as a doctor is to make someone feel at ease. If she's not at ease, then you're not doing your job. And the fact that Marlena and Sarah were like, yeah, he's not really known for being, treating patients in a very caring way. Why is he on your staff?
He's not. So the way it was is he was from Chicago, and he came in for this. He was asked to come in to see Chanel because his statistics are the best, but statistics are not bedside manner. And
he could have stayed at home.
Yeah, I mean, I am going to call Sarah out on this one a little bit, because as Chanel's primary physician, as the person who gave her initial diagnosis, she should have done her homework before she recommended this doctor to her.
Or she should have been in the room knowing that, Chanel, be the half that he's not.
Yeah.
Be the half that he's not.
For me, this was a good. I like the PSA aspect of it. I thought that was good. I thought it was a bit heavy-handed, which sometimes they do with Chanel when she's right and wants to get her point across. She can be a bit of a shrill sometimes, and I feel like they've been course correcting her the last couple of months with the EJ stuff, and we got over that. And I feel like, oh god, once it started this week, I was like, I like the information, but it's like, don't go to war over this. Like, let's take a breath, let's breathe. I also think she was missing kind of Johnny's point in as sort of rude or disconnected as this doctor may be, he's also one of the best. And so you have to balance that with, as someone who's facing a life-threatening illness, it's like, yeah, I may not like your bedside manner, but if you're the person for the job, then I got to figure out how to deal with you. And it doesn't mean she should just take it and shut up, but she should definitely voice her concerns, but don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like she was doing that when, with later on, they want to set up the appointment and everything. And it was like, okay, do your research, definitely get a second. First of all, you should have already had a second opinion already, but don't throw out the statistics and the expertise just because he doesn't have a great bedside manner. I think that part she wasn't getting that, I think.
But I think also, I think what Chanel needed, she wasn't getting, and that was to feel comfortable. That was to feel like I'm addressing my concerns with you, and you are not able to answer these questions. So now, even though everyone is saying that you are the best, you too sound like the internet. While you told me to stay off the internet, you sound like the internet. You're just spatting off stuff instead of really looking at my specific case and saying, you know what? Here's the thing. I have dealt with a few cases that are very rare. In this instance, where a mother was diagnosed with breast cancer while pregnant. Here's what I know. There will be no long-term effects with the use of anesthesia and things like that. There is a 0.558987 chance that your child could have these effects. Or even just saying, to be honest, we haven't had enough study, because this is a rare thing, to know whether your child would have any side effects with the use of this. But as far as I know right now, this is the best course of action. That's all she needed.
Yeah. So to expand on that, I'm going to say that on both of Justin's points, I 100% disagree. The first.
Well, damn.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Sorry. Girls walking in the room. Okay. Here we go. So, in terms of the doctor,
she about to female explain to us.
Yeah. Thank you. In terms of the doctor, an oncologist coming into a room and with a very vulnerable, very already scared cancer patient, and saying that treating your patient like one of the many statistics is quite literally what the opposite of an oncologist that I have spoken to. When my mother had breast cancer, that's literally the opposite of what her oncologist said. That actually you have to treat each individual cancer. Now, methods might be similar, but you have to look at that individual cancer, that person. So A, doctor's wrong. B, his bedside manner sucks. And C, in terms of Johnny, in terms of his attitude, while his intentions may have been good and he may have had a point about don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, tell me why it took Paulina coming into the room to turn that conversation around. It's because Johnny was not listening. He was not listening to his wife. The reason she sounded shrill is because he was not listening. And sometimes, as a girl, you got to raise your voice a little bit because you're not being heard. The men are saying, "Well, you're just being irrational. You're just being hormonal. You're just being short-sighted. She's like, no, I need you to hear what I actually need. And then instead of telling me what you think I'm feeling, respond to what I'm saying. She was saying she needed facts. She was saying she needed comfort. She was saying she needed to be looked at as an individual and not as one of the many. Answer those 3 questions, address those 3 concerns for me, and speak to me in a calm manner, not like I'm being irrational. And then I'll be calm. Then we can have an actual conversation about what's the best course of action moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you right now, I literally have sat in front of a doctor who, when I told him what I suspected I had, tried to actually convince me that I had an experience that I had never had in order to connect symptoms to the condition. Like, they actually tried to convince me that something had happened to me that never did.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you need, when you are sitting in front of that doctor and you're not being heard, yeah, go see somebody else. And if that should have been the first thing that Johnny said, not, oh, maybe we should hear him out. No, go get someone else. You're a freaking demerit. You have money. You could go see the best doctors in the world. Your father has actually said that. He has said, I'll fly in whoever you want. Go get that person.
I would have flew in. You know how the toothpaste commercials that say 9 out of 10 doctors? Bring all 10.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big glaring omission, that they're sort of ignoring the fact that this couple is insanely rich or has insanely rich family. So this one, it wouldn't have gone down like that in the first place, in their situation to begin with. But I actually think I don't think Johnny wasn't listening to her. I think she took Paulina's advice because Paulina's her mother. I think that was the determining factor. I don't think Paulina said anything that Johnny didn't. In fact, she specifically backed up what he had said to her. I think hearing it, I don't know if I'll say it's hearing it from a woman, but hearing it from your mother, who she's not going to have that conversation that she had with Johnny with her mother. She's not going to yell at him about it. She's going to take a more different approach. So I think having Paulina say it, I think, was a really good idea. But I don't know if I agree that, like, Johnny just wasn't listening to her.
I think hearing it from Paulina, who is another woman who could better understand what another woman is going through, probably the message was better received.
Yeah.
I'm looking in the chat, and I'm going to say all of our hearts go out to everyone who just shared their experiences with this, whether it's personally or through family. It looks like Days has definitely depicted this in a very right way. But also, I want to share with you, we do have a sound off regarding this, and it's actually from Me World, who took a moment outside of the scorecard to share this with us.
So this is my sound off, separate from my scorecard. The situation with Johnny and Chanel and that racist doctor reminded me of a story in my life. I have a best friend who is white, and like Johnny, he grew up in the mafia. He was dating this strong black woman like Chanel. They both faced systemic racism in the past at a hospital on 2 separate occasions that had nothing to do with cancer or chemo. But in that one situation, his girlfriend went into traumatic blood loss, like hypovolemic shock. She was literally dying. My best friend took her to the ER, volunteered to give up his blood to her for transfusion, but the doctor was like, nope, she's a lost cause. He didn't check her pulse, didn't administer her to the hospital. He was saying things like, people like her. So you know what my best friend did? He used his family's name and terrified the doctor who refused to help his girlfriend into compliance. What does Johnny Demera do? Nothing. If my friend was in Salem, he would have looked at Johnny like, bro, are you giving up on your wife? And then dismantled that doctor. So right off the bat, Johnny gets a D. Like his last name, Demera. It's a D for disappointment. D for dishonor to the family's name. Be more like my best friend, Johnny. I don't care how nice you want to be. Your family name carries worlds. They don't carry pebbles. So yeah, and that doctor is getting a score too. So stay tuned for my scorecard.
What he said.
Yeah. But kudos to Days for depicting this in the right way.
Yeah.
Like not having just a doctor come in and talk about this, but actually having, this issue, because apparently, and even in our chat, it's more common than we think. And it's also sad that we have people in those type of professions that simply do not care. And someone in healthcare, you have to be the most trusting, because this is my health, this is my body, this is your decision, is what's going to keep me healthy and alive. Like, crazy.
Or they started out fine and got so disillusioned over the years that they're what we talk about now as the example, which is unfortunate, but
yeah. Well, speaking of medical things, let's move on to our last top storyline, which is a medical mystery, and that's with Sarah and Destiny. First of all, you know what? I love giving kudos to people who make an appearance on the show. So shout out to the girl who played Destiny, honey. You better get your 5 minutes of fame, honey.
Yeah.
I live. But it was interesting because when Sarah was diagnosing her, I was like, I feel like Sarah is missing something. Like she's not really doing a thorough exam. Like something is off with Sarah. But I also felt like Destiny was not being completely 100% honest in what was wrong with her. I took some pills out of the medicine cabinet. Bitch, did you not read what the pills said? Oh, I threw the bottle away.
What? Red flags immediately. Like what kind of pills were they? Were they over the counter? Were they prescription? Were they pain pills? Were they antibiotics? What were they expired? Like there were not enough questions being asked.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, goodness gracious. Like, and I mean, if the girl is dehydrated, keep her there and hook her up to an IV.
At the very least.
Yeah, I had no idea where they were going with this storyline. It seemed to me like the girl was going through withdrawals or something. And I feel like Sarah wanted to say that, but she was stopping herself from saying that, or she was trying to be open-minded. But then, like, after she took the blood and everything, I was like, okay, well, what? At this point, like, what is it? Like, what are we supposed to glean from this? So I mean, it seems like they're setting up this big mystery, and we'll figure it out as it goes along. But I don't know. I personally didn't get the sense that Sarah was doing something wrong. I know that she's blaming herself for this girl collapsing, but I didn't get that. I didn't understand sort of the latter part of the week where she was blaming herself, like she could have caught this. I didn't see anything that was glaring. I don't know. Maybe they'll explain that, because she also didn't say like, oh, I should have ran this test, or I should have ran. She didn't really do that. It was more like, I should have known, or I should have seen this. Like, well, it's not your job to actually know and see. Like, that's why they call it practicing medicine. I don't know. I guess we'll figure out what this mystery is, but I didn't automatically get the sense that she had, done something wrong or did about a malpractice or anything. I don't know. I didn't get that from what we saw.
You know what I think it is? I think it's knowing that it's something deeper, and her not pressing Destiny with more questions to be more forthcoming, and kind of just taking the information that Destiny gave her and being like, well, okay, well, it's this based on what you gave me, instead of looking at her and being like, no, you kind of are you on drugs? Have you taken drugs? Are you on drugs? Did you shoot up? Is it heroin?
Yeah.
Is it Molly? Is it ecstasy? Is it, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
feel like Sarah probably wanted to do that, but maybe as a doctor, she was just kind of like, okay, okay, you took prescription pills. What, did you read it? Okay, well then where's the bottle? And then instead of, she had to be professional, and I guess she felt like she had to stop right there instead of being like, well, bitch, you didn't read what the pills were on the bottle. Like, do you have a letter that it starts with? Where did you get the pills from? Did you get the pills from University Hospital? Can I be able to look up in your file? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, I think she wanted to press more, but she could only take what was given and run the test that she thought she should based on what Destiny gave her. Now, my mind, I don't know if anyone else was my mind was swirling with Miss Destiny, because at first I was like, ooh, she probably pregnant. Then I was like,
that for a second too, yeah.
And then I was like, ooh, she just took some random pills thinking it was going to help her with whatever it was, and now she got more problems. And then I was like, ooh, they setting us up for some like virus that's about to break out in Salem. Like I was thinking all these things. And then when she came and she like fell out and she died,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what was wrong with her?
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that JJ, was like, well, let me give you the rundown, because as a, when I was a cop, I had some run-ins with her. I'm like, well, girl, and also, how y'all gonna have JJ and Javi just oh, you need help? Oh, it's like,
wait, what was wrong with that? Wait.
People take lunch breaks.
You thought it was like too convenient or something? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
like it would have been one thing if like maybe if they weren't together and like maybe they had just came from a call, or maybe like he was running an errand, or like it's something about the fact that they were together. And it was almost like, we're taking a stroll through Horton Town Square, and like, what is happening? Hi, Mom. I saw that you came in. Mama Moore's in the building, y'all. So, yeah. But I guess it's about to unlock a whole lot of stuff with this.
And we know she's connected to Liam.
Yes.
We know his sister died. We know that Gage's mother died from an overdose. So I guess we're assuming that she is Gage's aunt.
Yes.
Destiny. Yeah.
Yeah. But two sisters dying of an overdose. Yeah. I mean, not improbable, but but the circumstances and how it happened, at least in this case, are already sketchy. So it's building up to something else is going on.
Yeah. So we're finally getting a Liam storyline. It looks like after a year and a half of
after all this time,
they're actually going to give Hank something to do besides
remind us that he can't read working in a bookstore and fall in love with Ari.
Yeah.
But can we talk about this here with Sarah, Xander, and Brady?
Oh yeah.
So finally, Destiny, I guess it was Destiny, to have Xander and Sarah come be brought together through this, which had Sarah have one of the most interesting dreams. And before we get into it, we have Megan, who wants to sound off about this dream. Now, listen, before I play this, I want to say again, y'all, if you have anything to say about the week's episodes of Days, please sound off. Do not be afraid. The same folks are always sounding off. It's Megan, Tacoma, Washington, and sometimes Annette, and Brianna when it's about Paul Telfer. So I know
where was
a
Brianna
lot of
this time.
Huh?
I said, where was Brianna?
Right. So, and I know you guys have thoughts about the show. Please share them. We are begging to hear from you guys. So Keep that in mind, all right? But here it is. Let's see what Megan had to say about this dream, shall we?
Hi guys, it's Megan from Massachusetts. Okay, I'm just still watching Thursday's episode, and I already have to shout out to the dream sequence between Sarah and Xander and Brady. It was awesome. I love how it was shot, and I think I have a pretty good solution to her. It's been done before, but it might work. This is where I'm going. Threesome. Are you with me? Anyway, I think I would choose Xander hands down. I'm sorry, I just would. They just belong together. I'm really shipping them. So anyway, great dream sequence, really good directing on that, and I love just everything about it. So I guess let's see what happens. She's obviously torn.
I do have to say the dream sequence was shot in a very dreamlike way. So kudos to production for that. Kudos to Sarah being like, this is a dream, isn't it? Yes, it is. And then the dream ensues of her just trying to decide Xander or Brady. And I think all of us will probably say, without a shadow of a doubt,
Xander.
Xander.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Let's see. Let's take it to the poll, shall we? Who should, I mean, this is stupid to do, Sarah,
I know.
choose. But you never know. Some people maybe team, maybe, they might be. Let's see. So who should Sarah choose? So let's see.
Thinks that it's going to be like a 95 percentile. Why did we do this kind of thing?
Right. So let's see. You guys vote. Who do you think Sarah should choose? Xander or Brady?
I did like. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, you go ahead. No, you go ahead first.
I did like that it was Sarah's dream because starting off, I think like most people, we thought it was Xander dreaming about her, and then they established it was Sarah's. And this is the first time outside of maybe her just generally warming up to him after being angry with him for so long that we're seeing that her feelings may be stronger than she's letting on. Usually from the past few weeks, it's been Xander's side of it and going to Marlena and talking about it, or him pulling away from Gwen or something. So to see it come from her, I thought was interesting. Like maybe her feelings, especially this past couple weeks, are stronger than we even thought for him. It seemed like she was on the track to really getting over him and moving on with Brady, but there's a lot more there than she's admitting.
Yeah. I think deep down inside she has had a love for Xander, and that love never left. I think her being Sarah and being stubborn and being like,
Yeah.
But I think now that it's so funny that they named the character Destiny, but inadvertently brought together Sarah and Xander. And I think Sarah was able to see the care that Xander still has, which caused her to have that dream. Interesting. So as of right now, we're gonna close out the poll. 94% said Xander, while 6% said Brady. So there's that.
The only part I'm really jealous of in this whole thing is that
it wasn't you. I know. I felt the same way. I wish it were me.
I mean, I just wish my dreams were that vivid.
You don't have vivid dreams like that?
Well, you know how you're dreaming and it's like so vivid that you wake up with it and you can still remember things in your mind, but then slowly as the day goes on, it fades away. I wish I had vivid dreams that I actually remembered. Like you have to train your brain to like remember the dreams afterwards. I wish I really could just stay in it.
There are some dreams that I kind of remember, or like I can touch on. Even some dreams that I've had like weeks ago. Um, maybe I love living in my dreams because waking up, I'm like, damn.
Right.
And there have been dreams. I've had dreams that are so real that the feelings still linger.
Mm.
Like I've developed crushes on people based on a dream.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
One of them being Trevor from O Town. I remember I had a dream about him.
Oh my gosh, that's a throwback.
And then suddenly I was just all about Trevor from O Town. And then I met him in person and I was like,
I know.
But this was like, well, this was the second time. Like the first time I met him in person, I was like, oh my God, Trevor. But then like I met him here in LA and I was just kind of like, I don't know if I just got older or if I was just like, Anyway, shout out to Trevor from O-Town. Anywho. Also, side note before we leave this top storyline, shout out to JJ with his shade of being like, yep, gearing up to work alongside Gus. I said, now nobody asked you to spill that tea. Nobody asked you to spill that tea. No one told you to do that.
Yeah.
But he did.
Jeez.
And I guess I had it like you forget who knows each other and who doesn't. It seemed like him and Leo weren't meeting for the first time, but they were kind of meeting for the first time. And I was like, oh, they don't know each other. Like it didn't even dawn on me that, but he has been away. So you forget who knows who and who's interacted before.
Yeah. Shonda927 said, taste changes. That's true. That's true. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been your top storylines on Days of Our Lives this week. And before we get into our tidbits, we just want to remind you, please, 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 please. Follow us on all social media platforms, Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're only 80 away from 5,000. We should be way more than that, but we'll take it. Also, while you're there, join our exclusive members only page to be an exclusive member of our page. Get some fun stuff with that. Also, if you can't listen to us, if you can't watch us and you need to listen to us, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And also show some love to JLJ Media, James Lott Jr.'s digital company on YouTube and where all podcasts can be found. And keep letting us know your thoughts. We are looking at you in the chat, and we also see your comments below when you have time to watch it and you watch it later. So let us know. Keep chatting with us. Keep the conversation going. Speaking of keeping the conversation going, we're going to get into our tidbits right now. We are heading into our tidbits, and I tell you what else we're heading into, ending this show early. We love that.
Let's see.
Listen, I got the Tony Awards to watch, and I have to queue up some Broadway numbers before that. Do a little lip sync in the house. That reminds me of the time my mom caught me lip syncing in the house. She was like, "What are you doing?" I was in here living my life, honey. Anyway.
That was a one-time thing?
Yeah, actually.
What?
Yeah, it was a one-time thing. Because, side note, sorry. Y'all know I like side stories. So when I started watching Days would go off, and from 2 to 2:30, sometimes 2:45, I would just throw songs on the radio, and I would just lip sync and dance and have a good time. Nobody was home. It was just me. Everybody was at work. This was much later, where I did a later lip sync, and I was in my house. I still remember the song. It was called Wall Around My Heart, from this TV movie called Shake, Rattle, and Roll that I was in. And Shantae Moore sung this song. So I was giving full Dream Girls, like Diana Ross and the Supremes. I did not hear the door open. And I just so happened to do a spin, and my mom is standing there, and she's just like kind of moving too. And I was like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" It's like, "You better go ahead, baby." Anyway, let's get into these tidbits now. Sorry. Dead Man Switch. The Dead Man Switch. You know, we keep seeing little instances that bring Gwen and Leo back together. And I think this is one of those touching ones where she's like, I'm going to give you this story. You can't publish it unless I'm dead.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. But this is the amount of trust. This shows the trust that she has with Leo. Because she could just write this down somewhere and like put it in a safe deposit box, you know, with something that gets delivered that says, hey, somebody look at this. But she went to Leo because I think she knows that Leo is really the only person, even though their relationship has been wonky. You know, it's who can be trusted. So
no, definitely. Yeah, I like them getting back to being best friends and that whole group. Again, I wish it was Dimitri was involved in this and they had like squashed all of it and just, you know, became best friends kind of a thing with Dimitri on the side. But or even I liked the like quote unquote like semi-villain era when it was her, Xander, and Leo when they took over the paper, and that little stretch there was good too. But I this is the core friendship with these two people. So I'm glad they're getting over their stuff and actually like coming together meaningfully this time.
Yeah.
I also like Gwen's bid for the hospital.
Yeah.
I feel like they threw that around before when she was with Xander, and it was kind of like we didn't know if she was just saying that to attract Xander, and then the stuff with EJ is looking more precarious, and so she's made a full-fledged decision to sort of break off from her stuff with EJ, it seems, and go and oppose him, which is putting herself in the lion's den. But I like it though.
Just goes to show you, buds over studs every time.
Buds over studs. Oh my gosh! I mean, I like this. I like this version of Gwen. I like her just kind of like protecting herself and kind of readying herself in case anything happens. I think EJ is stupid. Because I feel like they had such a great rapport with each other and all this, and it's like, please stop trying to be the most powerful thing in the world and trying to act like, you know, you don't need anyone.
Yep.
And oh yes, Annette, that knife you stabbed my knife, you stabbed me in the back, and I'm just returning the favor, knife like blade first.
Love it.
I love it. That was good. That was good. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I would love for Gwen to take the hospital.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And so there's like, I mean, her owning, and again, it's not the Hortons hospital, but it's so closely tied to them. Having Gwen own it, can we imagine what Julie and Jennifer are gonna have, what their reaction would be to that? But yeah, I like that idea of her like putting down some actual roots. And like I said, I love the EJ stuff. I thought her and EJ were great together. I finally thought like, oh, they're actually giving EJ a partner in crime. It's not romantic. They're giving him a friend after 20 years. But it didn't happen. He reverted back to type, and yeah.
Well, we shall see what comes of that.
Yeah,
that's that tidbit. Let's move on to our next tidbit, which is the first date with Julian Foster. I was for this, and then I realized maybe I spoke too soon.
Yeah.
I think it would have been nice just to see them bond as friends, especially having gone through like the same situation. And I think it's one of those things where over time we see maybe something develop, and let us root for it first before the show decides we want you to root for it. Because I think also the thing that's kind of about it is knowing that in real life,
Mhm.
Bill and Susan were a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's kind of like, not that it's watching Susan date, but it has this feeling of like this correlation of every time we see Susan interact with like, every time we see Julie interact with Doug, it feels like Susan and Bill. So it's like, it's still, for us, I feel like it's still too soon for any, because they were such a dynamic character, a dynamic couple. They were a super couple. They've been a couple for so long and for so many decades on the show that I think it's too soon to try to pair Julie with someone else. I'm all for, because I think Foster is the cutest. I think it's fun to have them as friends.
Yes.
And not as like, I would love to see them just in the bookstore after it closes, reading a book together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And us more so being like, oh, it's friends, rather than something more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a nice
Mhm.
companion for her, and
Yeah.
she's not looking for another great love. Maybe companionship. And purpose. The way that she did with the bookstore. It's little pieces of what this next chapter in her life looks
Mhm.
like.
Mhm.
Not trying to, search for something that she already had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay. Like, if they focus on companionship over sort of romance, I think is the better way to go for now. And if something develops later, cool. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. On to the next tidbit. To our new dad.
I mean, not much is happening. It's not happening until next week. We'll see. Yeah. Justin and Bonnie were introduced to their new granddaughter. Alex seems to be getting in the swing, bonding with Kelsey. And yes, you can learn things off of YouTube. Just practice and be maybe under some supervision
Mm-hmm.
the first time around, because things will
Yeah.
happen.
I also love
YouTube
Kate.
University is not for all.
Yeah. I also love Kate sort of giving her history there with Lucas as a little vice sort of thing for Joy. I thought was nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was just like, we're getting used to seeing Alex with Kelsey and him being introduced to everyone, and I like Kate kind of being there for Joy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And then seeing that slow build of trust between Alex and Joy, them just being completely honest and saying, just let me know what you and Stephanie decide, and then him being like, are you okay with this and this? Just clear communication.
Yeah.
Would that we could all have that.
Mm-hmm. I just say, whenever I see her and Joy, though, Kate and Joy, there's something so ironic about their relationship, considering she spent so many years hating Chloe, and like that dynamic that I'm glad doesn't come up. I'm glad that doesn't get in the way of either Joy opening up to Kate or Kate even wanting to sort of befriend Joy. I'm glad that they keep that separate, but it's always something. It's like the little elephant in the corner, right, for me whenever they interact, which I like. But
I actually didn't even think about that until you brought it up, because I feel like Kate and Joy have their own bond already, completely separate, and which is exactly how Joy wants it. That was always Joy's thing, that sticking point for her. never wanting to be compared to her sister, never wanting to live in her sister's shadow, never, because the history of how she came into this world. She always wanted to be an individual and do her own thing.
Yeah. I love the little baby that plays Kelsey.
Mhm.
You better work.
Yeah,
Because
I guess. Yeah.
Because sis be having all the looks, honey. Oh, hi, Kel. I'd be like, you better work, honey.
It's always they get you with the eyelashes, just flash those big eyelashes at daddy and he's done for.
I mean, listen, I think we all want to flash our eyelashes at daddy. It's
like 4 too many daddies.
It's just enough daddies. Well, you know why? You have to say daddy that many times to represent all abs that Robert Scott Wilson has. So every daddy represents an ab.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep. Every museso. Oh my gosh, that reminds me of the time. Do y'all remember when I had asked the fans to do like a compilation video of Robert Scott Wilson to Diana Ross's muscles? Do y'all remember this?
Vaguely.
Oh my God, this was, okay. Fans, whoever made that video, please resend it. Years ago, I was like, fans, do a like Robert Scott Wilson video to the song of Muscles by Diana Ross, and they did not disappoint. But I have since lost that video. If anybody has it, please send it to me. Because it was so good. I want muscles. Anyway. All right. Marlena's extortion. Wait. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Wait, you thought you getting exorcism in your head?
I did. It was like the wrong E word. Marlena was like, listen, honey, I know that you did wrong. You don't have to admit it, but I also don't have to be your doctor. Marlena. And she meant it.
This was over the line for me.
This is not only over the line, this is potentially getting into pulling of your license territory. Because if I'm reading this correctly, a psychiatrist cannot set demands of a patient for personal gain of any kind. It must be for boundary setting and for what is in the best interest of the patient. And when I say best interest of the patient, I'm talking in terms of safety, not in terms of what the psychiatrist thinks is in the best interest of their future, because that is not theirs to decide.
I also think, like, when she did this before, when this whole thing came up and she was gonna sort of recuse herself, for lack of a better term, that made sense to me. I thought that was fair to say, like, you're having this contentious relationship with my family member, like, it's too close for words, I can't advise you properly, like, maybe we go our separate ways. I thought she's well within her right to do that, but this was weird. This is way over the line for me. And I don't like she wasn't even just saying drop the lawsuit. She was saying admit you did something wrong publicly. That was like, okay, that's way too far. Like, asking him to drop the lawsuit is one thing. I mean, if that goes too far, but to say, like, no, I want you to now publicly admit you did something wrong, not even just make it go away. Like, I don't know, there's a part of me that, even though I think it's wrong and possibly illegal, at least she's saying, like, make it disappear here. I know you did something wrong. You know you did something wrong. It's my grandson. Make it go away, and I'll be on board with, Basic Black, and I can work with Kate, and, we all win sort of thing. It's sort of like she's wants to publicly shaming not only Xander, which is her patient, but the stuff with Kate is getting murky to me too.
Yeah.
I called this months ago. She's got some, not that she's doing it intentional, but the stuff with Roman, I said this, it's seeping into it now. She's enmeshed in this now, and it's bothering me. Yeah.
I don't even like the idea of her speaking on behalf of John in this scenario, because that to me felt icky.
Yeah.
Like John may well have had a very strong opinion about what Kate did, certainly, but I get it, you're getting into really icky territory when you try to speak for the dead.
Yeah.
Also, they're completely sorry. Oh, sorry, Tony.
You go ahead.
I say they're completely dismissing Johnny's involvement too. Like, yes, we know they set him up, but he took the bait and he didn't do his due diligence. So, like, he's got enough blame there to go around that
unqualified.
they're completely just ignoring it. And then, of course, we had the scene earlier with the Alex stuff where Bonnie, she admits she did accidentally, but she did plagiarize the book. Like, they're completely like pretending that didn't happen. No, she plagiarized, even if unintentionally. Johnny put it out. Even he should have did his due diligence. He's got to take responsibility here, and I feel like Marlene is completely washing that. I feel like if she had said to them, or Xander, like I said before, listen, just make this go away. Johnny did wrong. You did wrong. Let's make it all a wash and we can all move on with our lives. But to publicly want them to come out and it's like she's trying to clear Johnny's name in a weird way, which is so not needed because he doesn't deserve to have his name cleared. He did do what they accused him of.
Now, I will say this in slightly Johnny's defense. I do think that when he got the okay from Kate, I think in his mind, this is his grandmother. This is someone that he trusts, that they had already maybe done some sort of due diligence with it. And that's why he bypassed the whole thing of like having it go through legal and everything like that. I feel like maybe unwritten, there was a part of him that was like, all this stuff is probably already done. And they just didn't consider doing it because they already had a book that was doing well. And so now this is like our chance to do it. And although he still should have went through the checks and balances of everything, I think more so him trusting in Kate's, yes, by all means, do it. We're not interested. Made him kind of feel like, okay, great. Like, and think about like the checklist. She read it. They all they looked over it. Like everything should be good. We're just going to do it, bypass it, get it out there.
Well, remember that was the lie. She didn't read it. According to him, that was
oh, that's right. She didn't read it because
that was a setup. Yeah,
because she got it.
We know she did read it because she knew it was plagiarized. That was a setup. But according to him, he didn't know that she read it, and that was how they sort of set him up. But,
look, what she did was unethical. It was not illegal. She took advantage of the fact that he is completely unqualified for the job that he holds. Case closed.
Well, but I also feel like this. Trying to get another company to pay for your debt is crazy to me. And quite honestly, they could be out of this if, and we'll talk about this later, Philip just takes the money from Gabby. Anyway.
Also, Johnny should have settled too. When that was the plan to get him to settle, write a check, and it would that was sort of the idea of the plan to begin.
Because Johnny said, no.
But stupid him, he should have settled. He should have just wrote them a check because he's in a worse position now than if. Now again, we'll see if Xander, if the lawsuit goes away, no harm, no foul. But like. He's in a much worse position with a trial in a lawsuit than if he had just cut them a check and said, "My bad, we'll keep this under wraps. Sorry, Bonnie," and move forward. But
cut the check.
Yeah.
Before we get out of this, though, we have someone that wanted to sound off about this. Our friends from Tacoma, Washington, had this to say.
Who?
It's Melissa.
I'm Patty, and we're from Tacoma, Washington.
And this week our rage is about Marlena. Now Marlena's my girl. I don't want to go too hard in on her, but how is she gonna blackmail Xander with something that he told her in therapy, in confidence? Like, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem very moral. And it's just like, Marlena, like, how can you do this? You're violating HIPAA. And she's lucky, like, Xander isn't gonna tell anyone, because couldn't this get our license suspended? She's blackmailing him. And it's like, we keep always taking the blame away from Johnny, but like, Johnny is at fault in the scenario.
Gracias.
I just listen.
She's right.
They send in sound offs every week, and I love it and I appreciate it. I also just love the dedication because all three will be there regardless. All three. So thank you. So that's their thoughts about Patty is holding that iPad like she's a model on The Price is Right. That's right. Gotta hold that iPad, Miss Patty.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Belle and Brady are trying to figure out that chess piece. I thought she had the chess pieces of the pawn and the queen. How is the pawn piece now missing?
I was confused about that too.
Yeah, because
right.
The way it was shown in Stefano's memorial was that there was a chess set, it was a closed chess set underneath, and at the very top in their own individual slots was a pawn next to a queen. So then did EJ drop it off and separate without the pawn and the queen? Was the pawn then taken out without EJ's knowledge? Did he forget it? Was it dropped? Did someone else take it?
Or was it never in the set to begin with? Well, not accidentally, but I mean on purpose. I mean,
yeah, and then there was now it's a thing of somebody sent lilacs last year. I must have missed that. I completely.
Funny enough, we actually talked about. I remember I was talking about it when it happened because remember we were like, "Oh, is this going to be like a Stefano thing or whatever?" And then, ironically enough, before that episode aired, that popped into my head for some reason. I was like, we never got like an answer to who sent those flowers before. And I thought like it was just a drop storyline. I was like, oh, they probably dropped that storyline. Just like they dropped, well, they haven't. They brought up the flowers and they brought up the coin. That seemed like a drop storyline too when John died and she was looking for his coin. And Caleb was like, oh, there was no coin. We gave you, everything you had kind of thing. So
what I don't like is any illusion that John may still be alive.
Nope.
Don't do it.
Nope. No. And for no. I mean,
we're Stefano.
No. But and let's just make it clear to our audience, from the mouths of people who have no knowledge of what is coming down the pipe, but we can pretty much 99.9% guarantee right here, right now. No, there will never be a Stefano recast, and no, there will never be a John Black recast. Those chapters are officially closed. So if you read something on the internet or see one of those crazy AI YouTube videos, no. False news, fake news, chapter closed.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to setting the trap. Kat setting a trap for EJ to get the formula to help her mother.
Yeah, and then she's really going to give it to Rafe to give to the FBI. I have to say, this was probably the most animated I've seen Rafe in a very long time. And he was making those points.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought he was jealous.
I mean, it could definitely be interpreted that way. It could definitely lean that way. But I do think he was making a lot of solid points based on his own history, based on, procedure. because he can see he's good at reading Kat. He's like, Kat, like, don't you think about using this for your mom, and now don't you think about doing things without telling me first.
I think what bothers me with Rafe is that this like partnership, and yes, he keeps saying it, which I agree is her job is intel's to get intel, but also she's sort of the ace in the hole in this storyline. Like he gets nothing unless it comes from Kat. So it's like, I don't know, it seems a bit hypocritical whenever she tries to do something to further it. He always wants to put the brakes on it and be like, you're not a field agent. You're supposed to do intel. It's like, well, you're not bringing anything to the table. Everything you have on EJ comes from her, and she's the inside person. Like, yeah, I understand maybe like devising the plan with her, but it's like she's all you got. Like, you keep yelling at her and getting mad with her because she's, and rightfully so, she is getting closer to EJ. She is slightly warming up to him. I also feel like I'm getting jealousy from him in the sense of like, it's me and you against EJ, and now I see you warming up to him. This is his relationship with Sammy. This is the stuff with Nicole. I feel like that's all wrapped into how he feels about this.
I mean, I wouldn't quite label it as jealousy yet. Protectiveness, sure. Extra caution based on previous experience, like you said, with Sammy and Nicole. Like, he's been down this road. I think it's more like he sees this as his golden opportunity to finally take EJ down. And he's like, we're not screwing this up for anything.
Well, then he needs to do something other than like yelling at her for actually moving things along. Like, you wouldn't even have information if it wasn't for Kat's doings. He ain't doing nothing. All y'all are doing are having these secret, meetings and stuff, but he's not bringing anything to the table. She's always like, okay, this is what I got. And it's like, he never has anything.
Like,
you better be grateful. Yeah. I would have been, if I was Kat, I would have said, first of all, lower your tone.
Yeah.
Secondly, what you got? What do you know? Do you know anything? Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
I also didn't. I don't know if I necessarily believed him too when he was like, "Oh, if you get the drug, you'll have to turn it over. You know, you can't give it to your mom." I was like, I don't know if I believe Rafe would say that per se.
Oh, I believe it.
I think he would want to say that, but I think his history tells us he settles into being the good guy all the time. But the reality is, when he's up for breaking the law for a family member or someone he cares about, he is 100% always down to do that. So I was kind of, part of me was like, this is ringing hollow to me, like, for him to sort of be so stern about it. I think a different approach would have been like, hey, let's see if we can get 2 doses, or let's see if we can get a dose. We can try and give some to your mom, but also give some to the ISA. Like,
well, because he didn't say that it doesn't ring hollow to me, because I think that had he done that, then I would have believed that he was actually going to help her. But now I don't believe it, because I think in his mind, he knows the full extent of her mother's dementia, and he knows the way the government works. So by the time they even get it to them, by the time it goes through all the red tape and stuff, he knows there's no way it's going to be able to help her mother in time. She would have to illegally get the dose to her right now.
Yeah. I mean, I wish they did more with the mother. I like that they're bringing her up in terms of this, because they've hinted at, not hinted, but they specifically said in the past how she is sort of deteriorated. And maybe it's just me. I think we've seen so many people get brainwashed over the years, and they just bounce right back. They have no side effects. So to see like someone go through this, and to see like their mental health is deteriorating because of it, I just find it refreshing. But I also think there's so much to do with this mother. I think we haven't even scratched the surface of it. I think because she was tied to the Constantine stuff, that didn't go over well with people. I think people want to throw this away, but I think she has a lot to bring to the table. And again, John isn't here to sort of connect those dots. I thought would have been a really good storyline with them, but I also think there's an interesting place for her in this family, which I think we've been saying we welcome new blood on the show, and when we were getting this new family, we were happy. I think outside of Kat, they've been wasting them a bit, and I'd like to see them really right for this family because I think there's so many things to explore. There's stuff to explore, still some unfinished business with Kat and Maggie regarding Constantine. There's stuff with Marlena and Kat that's not talked about with John. There's stuff there to sort of mine with this family, and I think having the mother on the scene would be interesting.
True. All right. Well, let's get to our last tidbit, which is the wonderful birthday dinner. Happy birthday, Ari.
Not her trying to use her birthday to convince her uncle to break the law. Like, you could really get me for my birthday? That boy.
Listen, let me tell you this. If I knew somebody in the...
Allegedly. You just start with allegedly.
Nope. Not gonna say nothing.
LA, I think we all know our handful. I think we all know a few criminals here and there.
Okay, moving on. Happy birthday, Ari. Like I said earlier, first of all, I hate the hypocrisy that happens in Salem because the way Philip is treating Gabby is like, don't try to act like you haven't done anything wrong, because I do recall you going along with the plan of Vivian having a fake document saying that you're entitled to half of Titan.
Yeah.
Like you went along with that. So don't try to act like your hands are so squeaky clean. And like, it's okay to have the cold shoulder to Gabby for a little bit, but then you're like, you know what? Water under the bridge. I'll take your money. We'll squash it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the absolute hissy fit that Xander is going to throw Philip's way over this, because he's like, you turned down how much money?
Well, yeah. She already mentioned it to Xander that Philip turned it down.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to him. Like, this is one of those times where
Xander telling with Philip.
Yes, telling. Yeah, that brotherly shove. I don't need him to beat him down. Again, no, nobody needs to see that. But that brotherly, like, sometimes you need, your sibling to whack you upside the head, just to knock some sense into you. Yeah, just give him one of those, because this is nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he should at least take the money as payback. Even like the Ari romance stuff. I mean, not Ari, the Gabby romance stuff. Like, you figure that out later. I like them as a couple. Hopefully, they come around to them again. But I'm totally fine with him being pissed at her. But take the money and consider it payback and keep it moving.
Yeah. Yep.
And then there was the little nod that Julie gave.
Oh God, yes.
Okay.
That was a little much, though.
That was a little much, and that Ari was right to have alarm bells just going off inside her head, because anybody else who's seen that would have said the same thing. Like, what did hell just freeze over? What is going on?
Yeah. No, totally. And yeah, it was a bit. I mean, I believe Gabby would smile at Julie. I do not believe Julie would smile at Gabby just because they had one semi. I wouldn't even say pleasant, one semi cordial interaction a couple weeks ago. I still think Julie would, of course, roll her eyes at Gabby or be like, "Oh, I did this bitch a favor," like if she is in my face. Yeah.
Well, kudos for picking up on that, though.
Yeah.
She said, wait a minute. She said, what you doing smiling at her?
I know, yeah. They're planting seeds for Ari.
Yeah. Before we close things out and get into other people's segments, there is a sound off from Myrtle Hope about the writers. And so I want you guys to hear this, and then we'll talk about it.
I'm from Tacoma, Washington, and my rant is about the writers. I think you can tell the writers are trying to make some characters on the show like newer versions of older characters. Like, you can see they're trying to make Brady John. They're trying to make EJ Stepno. And it's just not hitting the mark. Because I think John and Stefano, they were their own individual people. When you try to make one character someone else, you're not only putting all of their character development into molding them into someone else, you're changing who they were. Brady is a Dumbo. He's Dumbo the elephant. It doesn't make sense for him to randomly be a PI. Like, the EJ to Stefano, that's one thing. But when you spend so much time trying to recreate what was, it just proves you have nothing that is. Like, you don't have a solid generation now. You don't have a solid foundation. So you're trying too hard to recreate what the past and what was good. And it just gives off missing the mark. And it's just like, if you have to copy the past to create the present, what are you going to do with the future?
I don't know what it is about Myrtle Hope, but like she says stuff and I'm like, yeah, girl, yeah.
Mhm.
She's like one of those girls that professors just love to have in their class because they're the ones that are like, you not only read the material,
But you also have a point.
You actually have a point. You're thinking about it. Oh my gosh, I'm doing my job right.
She gets
Like
the
it-
show, yeah.
It really does make sense, like how they are literally like taking away the foundation of these characters that they built and trying to make them into something else. I think, EJ, the new Stefano, we get that.
Yeah.
But y'all know I've had a problem with Brady being a PI since it was announced. I'm like, that is not even in his soul or his spirit. But what you all comment, let me know what you think about what Myrtle Hope said. Leave it in our chat or also comment below because I think she said some valid points. Shonda972 says Myrtle Hope is on point, is spot on. Megan Bizarro says Myrtle's TED Talk. So yeah. Now, before we get into our segments, we have your segments that we need to do. And we are going to start with Jen's highlights of the week.
You're a Go fan. I'm here in Ohio for my niece's wedding, so the background is not as it usually is. But for my weekly highlight, we have Gabby being blackmailed by Xander, and then Ari's going to find out pretty soon what she did to get Liam out of town, so she better watch her back. And then the shocking thing was that the girl that passed away that Sarah was trying to help, Destiny, apparently her sister is Liam's baby mama. So that's kind of interesting. On the EJ front, he found out about Chanel's cancer, and then he almost caught Kat in a lie about her being hypnotized by Marlena, so she better watch out because he's smart. He's going to figure this out. And then he also was told by Rolf that there may be a problem with the miracle drug, so he's worried about Lexi. Oh no, it was kind of a lackluster week, but those were my highlights. Thanks, bye.
Thank you, Jen, for your highlights of the week, honey. And now let's tune in to Debbie to find out what her thumbs up, thumb down for the week is.
Debbie, Franklin, Tennessee, thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up to Marlena for telling Xander, get yourself another shrink if you're not going to drop that lawsuit against Johnny. And thumbs down to Chanel. Honey, you rich. You can go get 4 or 5 opinions in any other city with your corporate jet. Look at Destiny. The poor person in Salem didn't get treated right, didn't get her headache treated. She ended up dying in the square, and the last thing she saw was Sarah and Xander.
Well, when you put it like that, damn.
Oh, God.
And last but not least, let's see how everything tallies up from Christian MeWorld's scorecard.
Week's scorecard. Belle gets a D because she must be delulu to think that EJ is jealous of her and Chad. Sarah gets a C because she's now confused who she want to be with, Brady or Xander. And she must be crazy to think that her pent-up anger and her massive love for Xander don't share the same frequency. Be angry all you want, Sarah. We know your libido is hella thirsty for his Scottish juice.
This is a family show, bruh. Calm down. Shout out to Gwen taking that shot at EJ, and she gets an S for it.
EJ thought he was playing chess, but Gwen out here is playing not 4D chess or 5D chess, but 6D chess and psychological judo with his mind and that Lavanchna money with buying that hospital from him. Keep making moves like that, Gwen, and you're gonna be a powerful villainess on this show, and we love to see it. I already gave Johnny his grade earlier on the show, so let's move on from him. Unless, did you guys skip my sound off? Finally, Dr. George. He gets an A for being an ass, a B for being a bigot, a C for being a cancer, and a D for being a douche. Overall grade F. Also, you don't tell a black woman to calm down. Or any woman. Take notes, boys!
Thank you, Christian Me World. All right. And those were those segments. And now it's time for our official segments. And we are going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Snap. All right. Listen, I got to give it up for the one, the only, Raven Bowens, Chanel Dupree Demira, for letting that doctor know, baby, you're not playing with no fool. I did my research too. And this is my body, my choice. And if you're not here to help it, then you can see the door. You can take you and your non-caring ass for patience and your degree and shove it where the sun don't shine. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. So Raven Bowen, Chanel Dupree Demera, you get Tony's for telling off the doctor and let him know what the tea is. You get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! Yes, that was a moment. And you know what? Raven, tag that in your reel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put that in your this whole week, Raven, put that in your reel for next season.
Oh, definitely.
Don't forget, because we'll remind you. All right. Well, we don't have captioned that because Michael Mattis is somewhere in Palm Springs, probably sitting around with Bimby with his feet up, drinking something underneath a daddy. But for now, we are going to travel back in time to those were the days.
All right, everyone. I'm taking you back to June 5th, 1925, which is not a date
1925
from the aired show, but it is the actual birthday of Mr. Bill Hayes.
Oh.
So the 101 heavenly birthday to Bill. I thought it was fitting to honor him this week, considering he was gone from the show, but still sort of a big part with Julie's storyline and her sort of moving on and sort of like Tony alluded to before, there's a veil between the acting and real life here. So I thought it'd be fitting if we sort of honored Bill on his 101st birthday this week. So June 5th, 1925, when Bill Hayes was born.
That's a good picture of him too. That's a handsome man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Susan said, baby, I'm going to hold on to you. Mm-hmm. All right. And those were the days. And now it's a gift.
This week's It's a Gift goes to Mr. Leo Stark and his expression of, okay, I'm listening.
Intriguing.
He's intrigued. This is his intrigued look. This is Araceli this summer. If anybody starts talking books and martinis, I'm listening.
This is every time someone has some good tea for Tony. Okay. I'm listening. I'm always listening. Yeah. This is when Trade introduces themselves to Justin, and Justin says, "Okay, I'm listening." This is when it's 5:00 and Bimby is ready for his walk, and Michael Mattis goes, "Okay, I'm listening."
Is he though?
Be better. All right, everyone. And that was It's a Gift. And now it's time to get into a little bit of news and gossip.
Okay, to start off, we have some congratulations on order. So big congratulations to our dear friend, Mr. Ryan Kwan, who has been named the new co-head writer of Days of Our Lives with Jean Marie Ford. We know that Paula Quigley, who has stepped down, will remain a consultant with the show, but Ryan, of course, has had an amazing history with Days. Many of you know him, from writer's assistant to creative consultant to Ron Carlovardi's sort of number 2 on the show, and considered Days' resident historian in a lot of ways. So happy to have Ryan back on the Days team, and we will actually see his influence. I believe he starts next month, so we won't see his influence in the writing
for a whole year.
Yes. But we are very, very happy. Big congratulations to our friend, Mr. Ryan Kwan, back at Days, which lots of people seem to be celebrating and are really, really happy for us. So,
and I think the reason why everyone is happy about this is because, as you said, number one, Ryan loves this show. Not that he didn't love General Hospital, he loves soaps, but this is Ryan's show. Ryan loves Days, and Ryan has always been great about the history of the show. And so I think having him back and having him in the fold, he's going to make some sense of things. So we are ecstatic to have Ryan Kwan back, and congratulations. Welcome home.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't forget that Terrence is available. All right. Next up.
Next up, we have some condolences on the passing of singer Peebo Bryson, who many of my generation will know him as a great R&B singer with particular ties to Disney, with the hits of Beauty and the Beast and A Whole New World. I mean, his duet with Celine Dion. But today's fans, he sung the song titled Tonight I Celebrate My Love, which was his duet with Roberta Flack, and which was the personal theme song for Bowen Hope through the 80s and the 90s. When I tell you this man had the voice of an angel, he will be missed.
Yes, and Peter Reckel did give a tribute to Peebo Bryson as well in regards to that. So R.I.P. Peebo.
Yes. And Miss Deidre Hall, who doesn't sit down with too many people. She sat down with the ladies of the We're Not Done Yet podcast, which includes the infamous Joan Van Ark, Michelle Lee, and Donna Mills. She sat down with the ladies to talk about soaps, her guest spot on Hacks, and the importance of monarchs. So listen to the episode on all streaming services now. And next up, Mr. Tyler Joseph Andrews is the latest cast member to step in front of photographer Sophia Tatum's lens, with a little help from her creative director, Mama, Stacey Hyduke. Sophia captured Tyler in the mean streets of LA between midnight and sunrise. And so you can check out her photos right now on both their social medias at Tyler Joseph Andrews and at Sophia_Tatum.
Yeah. Next up, we have some casting news. Days resident scoundrel, Mr. Peter Porte, has a new Hallmark Channel movie coming out called The Love Heist. It's premiering Saturday, June 20th, 8/7 Central. In it, Peter plays a security chief, Mills, who teams up with a celebrity stylist to track down an iconic piece of fashion history. So be sure to check that out. And then a friend to the show, Miss Tina Wong, is participating in a stage reading fundraiser for a new play called Bonobos. Reading is this Wednesday, June 10th at the Atwater Theater here in LA. Tickets and info you can link in bio at Tina's social media at Tina Wong on Instagram.
Hey, and that was news and gossip. Now let's take a look at what's coming up this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
Next week on Days of Our Lives.
How much risk are you willing to take?
I'll do anything. Something doesn't feel right.
You're thinking foul play.
I assume that's how you came in contact with Clyde Weston.
Xander! I know you're in there!
Shocker. She shot someone or will shoot someone. Shocking.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
No one saw that coming.
I saw this and my first thoughts were, what happened to all the deadbolts? And then I was like, Joy, you ain't. Why do you have a key to their house? Well, that's what's coming up this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives. And we'll be back here next Sunday to break it all down live for you at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But before we head out, just a reminder, please make sure you go show some love to our co-host, Michael Battis, who is on vacation right now. Check out his Instagram and X at ML Mattis and MLM Images LA to find out what he is going, what he's doing and what he's up to. Justin Lee Hareld, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
Araceli?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323 Araceli.
And of course, you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. And of course, you can check me out every Thursday with my bestie Kim in a new podcast called Now Catch This, live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please tune in. Please tune in. Please tune in. And also, you can find all of us at Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for another fabulous show. We will see you back here next Sunday. Until then, happy Tony Awards Day and enjoy your week. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay cool because, honey, it's hot. We'll see you next Sunday for another Dishin Days. Bye, everybody.
Bye.